Police say this was the most horrifying crime they've seen in this normally quiet part of Canada. Just before midnight Saturday, a gunman was reported in Portapique, a remote seaside village where the suspect, 51-year-old Gabriel Wortman, owned property. For the next 12 hours, along nearly 100 kilometers of highway, police fielded dozens of emergency calls about house fires, gunshots, and other incidents. Heavily armed officers pursued the suspect, who at one point was dressed as a policeman and driving an apparently homemade police car. Just before noon Sunday, eyewitnesses said they saw the suspect lying on the ground, surrounded by police at a petrol station near Nova Scotia's International Airport. Visibly shocked senior officers said one of their own, a 23-year veteran of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, was among the victims.
Back now with a bus hijacking and a chase through a major American city. The suspect firing at police on a highway.
Tonight, a hijacking on a public bus on a major Dallas highway, bringing traffic to a complete standstill. Police say just before 11 a.m., a man with a rifle boarded the bus and fired at least once, shattering a window. Then he started giving orders to the driver, going on a wild chase through several Dallas suburbs, with police pursuing only yards behind.
Shots were being fired from inside the DART bus from the gunman. The bus led us into a pursuit through multiple cities.
Authorities trying to stop the bus by putting out spikes on the highway, the bus finally stopping here. Police say the gunman got off the bus and exchanged gunfire with police. 2 officers were injured, and then the gunman himself shot and killed.
Rivers of mud sweeping through villages in the west of Kenya. In their path, homes, marketplaces, a police station and schools. In West Pokot, days of heavy rains. Locals pull survivors from the debris left behind. Many areas are still waiting for official rescue teams to arrive.
We ran to the other side of the ridge, and that's when we saw the floodwaters. It came down in a big wave and destroyed this whole shopping center and carried away all the animals and 2 cars.
Most roads have been cut off and bridges washed away. Locals say they've had to carry flood victims to nearby health centres on their backs.
Let's now bring you some updates from Israel. Thousands of people protested against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the Israeli city of Tel Aviv amid COVID-19 restrictions. Protesters accused the Israeli Prime Minister of destroying the democracy of the country. The anti-Netanyahu rally drew thousands of demonstrators amid COVID-19 restrictions. However, as you can see on your screens, the protesters maintained social distancing by keeping a distance of 2 meters to adhere to the rules provided by the Health Ministry. Demonstrations are allowed under Israel's COVID-19 restrictions as long as participants maintain distance from each other and wear face masks.
For more, we're joined on the line by the National Police spokesperson, Vish Naidu. Vish, good morning, and thank you very much for your time. Yuveka and I were commenting on this earlier. We were saying, while we applaud the swiftness with which the police have acted, we still really find it disgraceful that some members, some men and women in blue can actually violate the regulations and be found guilty and arrested for alleged corruption at this time.
Yeah, no, you're quite right, Dan. The majority of our members have been doing really good work, but unfortunately, there are a few members that have transgressed in some way or the other, even transgressed in a way of contravening the regulations of the Disaster Management Act, and thus bringing our organization, as well as the good work that members have been doing, into disrepute.
In an unprecedented move, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro took to the streets to protest the lockdown measures in Brazil implemented by the states. Now, Bolsonaro, who was not even wearing a face mask, addressed thousands of people wearing Brazil's yellow and green soccer jersey. What was even more shocking is that the president was seen coughing during his brief address. Supporters of the right-wing leader joined political motorcades around the country to protest against the strict measures. Protesters were even seen chanting slogans against the country's Supreme Court, which has upheld state-organized lockdowns. They also slammed the Congress, where opposition lawmakers have defended quarantines.
There are growing rumblings of discontent. A Moscow think tank over the weekend pointed out that since 2000, when Vladimir Putin served his first term as president, and up until 2015, the numbers of hospitals in Russia halved. There have been images spread on social media of ambulances queuing up at hospitals to deliver sick patients and having to wait for up to 15 hours in one case. A new hospital that has been built to the south of Moscow to take up to 500 patients with coronavirus that was started just a month ago is due to open today, and that couldn't come a moment too soon. At the same time, the health minister is starting to talk about the need to modernize Russia's health system.
In Europe, where the virus has hit the hardest, some countries are deciding to slowly ease their shutdowns. For example, Austria and Italy last week started to reopen thousands of shops selling non-essential goods. Italy, the worst affected nation in Europe, began to allow bookshops, laundrettes, and shops selling children's clothes to open again, while Austria is allowing DIY stores, garden centres, and shops under 400 square metres to open. However, in both countries, strict social distancing rules remain, and people are still urged to stay at home whenever possible. Germany and the Czech Republic have also decided to reopen some small businesses. Denmark has reopened schools for children aged 11 and under, but further restrictions will remain in place until the 11th of May. Spain is allowing some workers to return to their jobs if they cannot work from home. These include builders, cleaners, and workers in factories.